Let's turn to Daren Blomquist now to talk more about the U.S. housing market and what he's expecting in the new year. He's the vice president of Realty Track. It's great to see you today, Daren. So set the scene for us a little bit. What do these rising mortgage rates really tell you about the housing market?
Well, they tell us that it's time for the housing market to stand on its own 2 feet and not have kind of some of the artificial supports we've seen over the last few years that have helped the housing market recover more quickly, I think, than a lot of people anticipated. But the housing market is ready really to not necessarily have those artificial supports. One of those is low interest rates, and I think the housing market is ready. The fundamentals are strong to recover on its own without those record low interest rates.
You know, one of the headwinds low rates helped, but you had lending standards that were so stringent for the last several years that many people didn't qualify for a mortgage otherwise. Has that relaxed enough to let people back into this market again?
You know, I think it's slowly but surely relaxing, but of course we don't want it to relax too much because we'll repeat the mistakes we saw last time around. What we don't want to say is we need to give access to credit so much so that we loosen lending standards to the extent that we saw 10 years ago. I do think that the rising interest rates is actually going to be a good thing because we're seeing some markets, a growing number of markets, hitting these affordability ceilings, and it's a concern that these markets are becoming overheated. And so rising interest rates will have a cooling effect. And you know, we referenced that the last time we saw this high of an interest rate, even though it's still only 4%, 4.32%, was back in April of 2014. We did see a chilling effect on the housing market back then when interest rates went up. And I think we'll see that again, but I consider that actually a good thing to keep these markets from becoming too overheated.
You mentioned markets that are hitting an affordability ceiling. Can you be more specific? What cities are you looking at?
Yeah, it's the ones that I think a lot of people maybe know, but top of the list is Kings County, New York, which is Brooklyn. That's the least affordable in the country. Many counties in the San Francisco area, along with Portland. Some of the surprising areas that are becoming less affordable than their historical norms are places like Denver, as well as Dallas and Austin, Texas. More in the middle of the country. They didn't get hit as much by the housing boom last time around, but they really are seeing that this time around.
Daren Blomquist, it's great to have you with us today from Realty Track. Thanks.